Good morning. I am coming to you today just to share some thoughts with you on this Passover week as we approach Sunday, where it's a great celebration of God's resurrection, his life that he gives to us. But I'm specifically speaking to those of you who provide care and love to those who are the least among us. And during the day pandemic, that's a major concern that I have. The normal avenues for care and support, food pantries and other services, are limited during this pandemic. And we are, of course, in our homes and trying to honor and respect the distancing and making sure that we're staying safe, making sure we're not giving something to someone unintentionally. But I come before you today just to bring you a thought or two. There's a devotional that came across my desk. It's put out by keyministry.org, and they work with organizations. They promote adoption and foster care, and so this is a prayer that they put out. And it's just a way to encourage each of us as well. There's a couple of takeaways that I want to share with you, but let me read the prayer that was listed in this devotional, and I'll put notes in my message area where I post this. But it says, "We are your adopted children, grafted into your family. If not for the death and resurrection of Jesus, we wouldn't know the gift of being a child of God. For those in the midst who are adopted or are fostering children who've experienced trauma in their lives, we bring them before you, the children, the youth who are struggling. This is perhaps a tradition where normally being home might be an Easter basket or some other type of celebrated event, a family function, whatever it may be, whatever tradition that they would hold to. It might even be that they went to their own church during this time. But all that to say is that children are in these different places, and we're trying to bring new traditions. So this is a prayer to remind us of that. The prayer continues. We recognize that holy celebrations usually mean a change in routine that can be upsetting, or at the very least, create an unusual circumstance and an unregular experience for kids. As Easter nears, we humbly ask your tender care in the lives of each child and youth and family. So we're talking about the vulnerable, the least of those among us, those who are orphans and widows and others that are in need of our care. And so this Easter, we are really wanting to encourage each of us to celebrate the joy of the resurrection and to bring others along in that celebration. And so we pray for those that are in their homes, even now, on an extended level of care. Kids are home from school, and other places where they would normally get support are not as available. And so we pray certainly for those that are in foster care and those that have recently been adopted, as well as others, of course. But may the resurrection be a tender reminder that the Lord brings life from death, beauty from ashes. We need to comfort those with the hope of an empty tomb and what that represents, that we are now adopted into his family, that all of us are spiritually separated from God, and that adoption and the care that we provide is a demonstration of God's love. Matthew 28 and verse 6 is a verse that reminds us of this. It says, when the ladies came to the garden and to care for Jesus, the angel said, well, he's not here, he is risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. You see the idea that they saw no hope. They did what they were instructed to do for the body of the deceased, but Jesus was not there, and the angel reminded them of that. This devotional continues to say, for even social gatherings, that often accompany this Easter celebration, which of course it could be within your own family, the egg hunts and other things, and now limiting, of course, our ability to connect with each other physically. There's probably an awful lot of people going to get on FaceTime and other places this Sunday to say hello to family members and to care for them and call them and whatnot. But this devotional reminds us to help us to hold space for children in the families that struggle and those that are in foster care, and to, in a sense, show children with open arms God's love, his embrace. So that's perhaps a reminder. Romans 15:7 is a passage that says, accept one another, then Jesus, as Christ accepted you, just as he accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. So these are a few thoughts I just wanted to share with you today. May you just sense God's presence with you throughout this special week, and particularly as we come together as a family for Easter, and in virtual ways, but nonetheless coming together as a church family, coming together as a family within your home, and those who are not normally a part of your family, but welcoming a new tradition into their lives. We thank you for what you do in foster care. Let's make it a very special time.